Hello, welcome back to DIY Willy, and today, well, we're going to work on the Frontier again. It's a 2008 Nissan Frontier 4x4 Crew Cab, and we've got some field repair here on the battery that is not really the correct parts, but hey, it got us back on the road when it broke. And you know, when you're out there, you just put things together however you can when you find the stuff you need, and it works. So you put it on there, and it's been a few years since we put this on here, but now these parts are failing. And actually the ground cable came out when he was driving. My son was driving, and he put it back together, but we need to fix it. So we're going to change out the terminals on the battery. Now the stock parts corroded away when it had the lead acid type battery in there and broke, and we had to replace it with these, and we'll get a good look at that right now. We replaced it with these aftermarket connections. I mean, they work. This one's a little taller than I would like it to be, but it works. This one has already broken and failed, and the wire and everything has come off. So it's time to replace all that and kind of get it back into trustworthy condition again. So let's take a look at the new parts. Picked these up from, you know, I believe it was Walmart. They should work. I mean, they're coated. And now we have the Optima battery, so there shouldn't be any acid or anything like that to deteriorate these parts. But we should work. This will be the new positive terminal. See, it has the stud for the factory harness to go on, and it'll be a lot lower than that one. We have a new negative terminal. The cable's already attached to the fitting, and I bought kind of a long one for where this goes in, so just in case, I picked up some new lugs, and I can put these lugs on. I can cut the cable to length and solder these lugs on at the length I need, because I think this is going to be too long. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's too long, but I'll take some of it off, make it look more factory. So yeah, with all that said, let's go ahead and get to work. We'll take off the negative side first, and we'll put it off to the side. Now, these aftermarket posts, or these aftermarket clamps, are 1/2 inch on the nut. We'll just go ahead and loosen them up, and you can see there's washers installed. I mean, this was a field repair, we'll call it, to get the truck back on the road. And these parts are broken. You know, they're no longer trustworthy. So we'll just get them out of the way like that, and we'll go ahead and take the positive one off. Now, I'm going to go ahead, even though I've got this loosened, I'm going to go ahead and take the wing nut off so I can get rid of that mess of, man, these things are really hard to work with. I'm going to go ahead and take the wing nut off, because you see the washers stacked up for that to work. You know, do what you got to do. Yeah, just get the wing nut off like that. We'll set that and the washers out of the way. Oh, we'll lift it off. That'll make it easier. You want to get all the harness out of the way. We'll set those aside. We need to reuse those. Oops, I lost one. Ooh, excuse me. I lost one down there. Oh, there it is. That's a special one too. Let me get it. All right, so we'll put that off to the side as well. Now, with your battery disconnected, you're going to lose all your stereo settings, you're going to lose your clock, and use all that good stuff. But I mean, we can put it all back together. We can set all those settings later. I'm just going to try to spread this apart. It's a little bit tight on the positive. And I mean, it worked, and I'll put it in the glove box. I may need it again sometime. Well, let's get the new one. We'll get it opened up. Now, normally, anytime I work on the battery and I take the terminals off, I always like to take the time to clean them and make sure that they're fresh. Okay, like I was saying, I like to take the terminal cleaner clean the terminal, get the oxidation off, any corrosion that might be there. That way it's a good mechanical connection. I got the new fitting here, or the new terminal. It's a 7/16. I'll just tighten it up. All right, that's good and tight. Again, there's not really a specification for that. I mean, if you looked hard enough, there might be, but you just want to get it as tight. You don't want to stretch it. You don't want to strip the bolt out. That's probably good enough as it is. We'll go ahead and we'll put a washer on the bottom. And then we had a washer there. This is the washer that comes with the truck. It's kind of got the corners cut off. You see that? We'll put that on there. Then we'll put the first piece. Okay, so I've got the negative cable out. This is the end I want to replace because it's broken. And I could easily just put another one of these on there. I mean, it lasted several years. But I wanted to do, you know, something a little more factory oriented. Even though this is an aftermarket part, I wanted to do something better than this. I never really cared for this, where it just pinches the wire in. But after looking at it, it's got this kind of a, I guess it's a field sensing device, or some kind of magnetic field pickup or magnet or something that plugs in. It's got a plug on the car that plugs into there from the harness, and it senses something from the negative cable. I can think of it as it's a magnetic field or a field from the cable. So that's got to go back on for sure. Also, I noticed it's got one extra ground point to the body on this cable besides the one that goes to the engine. So I can remedy that by just bringing, instead of making this, I can bring another cable of this, because I'm going to have extra. I can just put lugs on it and bring it up to where this one attaches to the body and just make the two of them. That'll be simple. And then before I put this lug on, I'll slip this back over the cable, and then I'll solder the lug on, and I mean, we should be good. We'll put the wrap back on it, and should work, right? I hope so. I'm gonna go ahead and do it that way. So you know, here's the new one we're gonna use, and we'll just get it to the same length. We'll cut it and strip it back for the lug. I'll go ahead and cut this, strip this back. Actually, I just take it apart right here, slide this off, slide this back on. I'll try to measure about the same position, and keep our fingers crossed that everything works. All right, let me do that. All right, so I got to take this other cable apart. On this type of fitting, these two bolts are 7/16, and we'll just go ahead and loosen those up. Should be using my electric drivers, right? Make this a lot faster. Until the wire comes out like that. Just gonna set this aside, and okay, now we want to get this sensor off. So I've gone ahead and I've taken the wrapping off, just untaped it and clipped the little strap that was on there off. I'm going to reuse this stuff, so I'll set it off to the side. And here's this pickup, or magnetic pickup. I'm not really sure what it is, but yeah, here it is. We'll also take this and set it aside because we're going to reuse it. And the rest of this, well, it's trash. So I'm even gonna go ahead and take this other piece of conduit wrap right here, or the plastic sleeve, because I'll just go ahead and reuse that as well. That way we'll keep it on the new piece. So I'll just keep this as reference. I'll take it off, throw it away. And I've already got the new one cut. Here we go. This is the excess. This piece that I'm using, it's the top post battery cable, 51-inch 4-gauge. It had the right fitting on it that I wanted for the battery post. I don't really see a part number. LF51-4L-77 is the part number. It's too long, by the way, but that's okay. We need the extras. So I went ahead and I cut it to length. Never mind this. We can use this maybe some other time if we need it. It's a good grounding point, maybe for lights or switches or something. We'll keep it there. We're not gonna do anything with it. I'll probably just fold it back and tape it on there like that. Now I gotta put this piece back on, and I think I'll go ahead and put some tape like they had it taped on there, just to give it make it a little bit tighter. Let me get that tape, I forgot it. Okay, so I've gone ahead and measured where I want this. I'm going to put a little extra tape there, similar to what the factory part had. I don't know if it's required, but the factory had it there. I'm going to do the same. We'll just put a couple wraps on it, like so. I think what it's doing is just building it up so it's not so loose on there. And it has a place for a zip tie. We may go ahead and zip tie it on as well. Don't know how much it needs. We'll try that. Got some scissors here. We'll cut the tape, get a nice cut on it, and we'll try the piece one more time. What do I do with it? Oh, it blends in with everything. So it's got to go pointing towards the terminal. We'll go ahead and put it on. I'll give it a couple more wraps. Like I said, I don't really know if this is necessary, but the factory had it, so we're gonna do the same. I wish I knew what that piece was. I don't know what it does. It's some type of a field pickup device, you know. It senses the magnetic field on it or something. Oh yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect, just like that. Okay. Now I can go ahead and slide it down because I don't need it in the way. Then we're going to go ahead and trim back the wire. I've already got the lug set up. See if I can do this without getting a razor blade. Yeah. There. We've already trimmed back the cable. We stripped it back maybe 1/2 inch, 9/16, like that. Just took it off. I did it with the scissors and just kept going until it came off. Now we're gonna go ahead and solder it in the lug, and I'll set that up right now. All right, so I've got the new lug set up here. I just made a quick little vise. I've got some solder, and I've got my torch. The new cable is ready right here. We'll set it here on the tire. We're going ahead and heat this up, mount the solder inside about 3/4 of the way full, and then we'll jab the wire in there while it's hot, let it cool, and it'll be perfect connection. I'm just using a regular propane torch. There we go. Got it lit. The flame nice and hot. It'll start to heat up. And we'll put the solder inside. We'll watch it melt. Again, we want to get it about half full. Ah, I'm shaky. Get it about half full. Keep it hot. And jab the wire. Just like that. Let it cool down. and that'll be a permanent connection right there. I'll go ahead and just wrap it up with tape. Doesn't really need it, it's a ground cable, but we'll go ahead and wrap it up with some tape just to make it look a little better. If I'd have thought about it, I'd have went ahead and put some heat shrink on, but I didn't think I had enough. So just let it cool, and that should be good enough to hold the wire. Now that's going to be hot. And we'll just let it hold the wire and cool down, and we'll move on to something else. Alright, so I've got the new cables all put together, the ends soldered on both of them. So we'll be good to go. I've got this piece on, I put a zip tie on it there, and it should go back exactly where it was. And then there's a couple spots down here. I broke the clips getting the cables out. I'll go ahead and just put zip ties in those locations as well. So yeah, we're ready to put it back together and see how it does. There, that weird piece is put back together. Now the battery terminal, we won't connect this until I get it to the block. But you can see it'll go just like that. And since it's going to be pretty difficult and you can't see what I'm going to do down there anyway, I'll go ahead and put this one together off camera. Alright, so we got all those wires put back together. All the batteries all connected back up. There's power going to the truck. Let's check it out. So there's your new terminals, good and tight on there. This is that magnetic pickup piece, or that sensor piece that goes on the negative cable, back reinstalled in its original position. I don't know if you can see it, but right here, right down inside there, are the connections to the engine block, and this is the connection to the frame. And yeah, it all went in perfectly. The battery's nice and solid, everything's good. Power to the truck. Let me put this back on. There we go. Power to the truck. And yeah, we've been needing to do this for a while because those terminals were broken and kind of questionable. And yeah, it was a good project, a good repair to the truck. If you need to change your cables, those were the part numbers. I believe this was the battery post terminal with wing nut, and I guess that's 249A is the part number. Picked it up at Walmart, Everstart Auto. And this was the negative cable. We already said the part number on that one. So I did buy the extra lugs because I needed to braze on or solder on the lugs to shorten the cables, and it worked perfectly. So again, if you like this project, give it a thumbs up, give it a good like. Thanks for coming by and checking out my my videos on DIY Willy, and there's plenty more. You can go back and see the playlist of the Nissan Frontier, the Chevy Silverado, even the mini bikes, Suzuki Samurai, they're all there. Check out the playlist, watch the videos, have fun and eat some popcorn and just have a good time. These are videos showing what I do to my vehicles. Man, not everybody's going to agree, and I'm sure people say that in the comments. It's okay, I don't mind. Everybody has their way of doing things, and this is the way I do it. So it worked perfectly. We've been needing to change those terminals, and well, if you haven't already, please subscribe, and always come back DIY Willy, and I'll see you next time. Bye.